Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Before starting my video, if you didn't subscribe my channel yet, please do, and do not forget to turn on notifications as I'm sharing every week great content for you. Alright, in this lesson I'm going to show you how we can manage our roles and permissions dynamically, and it is going to be a very dynamic operation, and we're going to push our limits a little bit further. And as I told you before, we're not going to use any third-party libraries. All codes will be handmade. Just prepare yourself, take your waters, coffee, tea, whatever you want, whatever you would like to drink, because this lesson is going to be quite long, and I don't want to interrupt the lesson between um, divisions, because I want you to see everything in one video. All right. Let's I'm gonna start typing entities, but at the end of the lesson, I'm going to fix all bugs and errors again. But now let's jump to the coding as quick as possible. All right, first of all, let's get into the entity section, models, entity. So I am going to create a couple of new entities. We're going to create our new tables. Let's start with domain. It's going to be many-to-many table again, guys. Domain. All right. To make everything fast, I'm gonna copy and paste from my Pure lesson preparation. Okay, we're going to have ID. We're going to have a control name ID. We have role ID, and these are going to be one-to-many to each other, and they are going to be in total many-to-many. Let's create our controller name class. Actually, I'm gonna give a different name, because while I was creating my logic, the controller, we already used controller text in our controller, so it makes a little bit conflict. So I'm gonna give let's say uh control Con control name. Is that okay? Never mind, let's use controller name. We're going to get confused. Okay, we're going to figure it out while typing our logic. Doesn't matter. Let's create controller name. All right, controller name, I'm gonna copy from here. So ID controller name, which is I put control name because I can't use the same name with the controller name. Or let's give just name for this section. What about domain? Controller name ID, role ID, role. Okay, leave it just name. Perfect. Anything else should I add? So it is going to be one-to-many to domain class. And I'm going to add a small adjustment to the role, because these three class connected each other many to many. Okay, let me open my board quickly. Okay, this is role, this is domain, this is controller's name. These are connected one-to-many, many, one, many. Total, it becomes many-to-many, guys. This is what I'm building in this logic right now. Okay, let's close it and let's move on quickly. Next, we're going to make our configurations before migration. Add class. Yep, controller name config, controller name config. entity type configuration, um, controller config, no, controller name. Yep. Let's add our namespaces, implement interface. All we need to do is builder dot navigation domains auto include. Alright, you can add extra logics. I'm just skipping this section. You already know how to do it. Alright, let's add another class which is going to be for domain. Domain config I entity type configuration domain. Yep. Let's implement our interface. Builder dot navigation. We're going to add our role and we're going to add our controller name. Perfect. Should I add anything to role side? I don't think so. Anything else? Let's go to DB set. Let's add our tables to our context. I'm just gonna copy from my preparation section. Let's copy and paste. Seems perfect. Alright, let's save everything. Now we're going to do our migration. Let's minimize everything. Alright, let's go to package manage console. Did I add connection between where's my model entity? Yes, we did. Okay, let's close everything again. Okay, let's add migration and let's say dynamic edition. All right, let's add it. I'm waiting. Okay, let's have a look quickly. Controller names table, domains name table. Yeah, creating index. Is there any connection between create table, primary key controller names, domains? Yep, the foreign key controller names. Yeah, roles. We have all of them here. Perfect. Let's update database. Will succeed. Here we go. Perfect. Let's close everything what we have. I'm gonna check my SQL tables, refresh everything, tables. Yep, we have controller names, we have domains. Okay, let's open our diagram. Let's open it. Okay, this is what we had previously. Add table. Did we give controller name? Do we have any? No, it must be a previous error, I guess. Okay, just take these two, ignore this one. Okay, probably we need to I need to restart. Oh, let's delete it. Let's delete it. Create new diagram. Controller names. Let's refresh again. I just need to close and open again. Probably it became crazy because I tried the migration pre-lesson just in case if it's working or not, but SQL need to be restarted. Microservice, no, it's MVC project tutorial, database diagrams, new. Yep, here we go. It's all updated. Let's close it. Yep, it seems a little bit tricky, but this is controller names, domains, roles, user role, and user. Okay, we have one-to-many connection between controller names and domains, domains and roles. So roles and controller names has many-to-many connection between in each other. Okay, hopefully you understand what I'm doing in this section. Let's continue adding our view models. Yeah, we can start adding our view models. Let's go models, view models, add new folder. Um, let's say controller view model, and we also need I'm just thinking domain view model. And should I need any view model? We're going to have a couple of more, but these are going to be in other lists. Okay, two folders is going to be enough. Let's start creating our classes, which is controller create view model, controller create view model, add class controller update. Actually, do we need controller update? Let's create everything, and if it's needed, just we can delete it. Controller list view model. Okay, let's create for the domains now. Domain create view model. Domain update view model. And domain list view model. Perfect. Let me think. Do I need anything else? Actually, I'm gonna have a couple of more view models. Let me type and create those here, and we're going to fill them step by step. Okay, domain list with params view model parameters. And just type here params class controller params view model. I'm creating this view model underneath of domain because I'm gonna use this control params with my domains view models. That's why I created here. All right. Anything else should I need? Just thinking. I guess this is going to be enough for us. Okay, let's start typing the inside. I'm just copy and paste from my previous works to make everything faster. Okay, create an update. We're going to leave it empty just in case. Let's keep it empty. We can edit if it's needed. And controller list going to have ID controller name, and we're going to keep our domain list here. Let's continue with domain list view model. Let's make copy and paste quickly. Okay, you can pause the video and you can have a look quickly what I've done here. All right, let's copy from update. Let's create domain create view model. Perfect. All right. I added a couple of different property. I'm going to tell you what I added later because we going to need those property and I add those separately. These are going to be mapped with our original entity and these are going to be just for data transfer. Okay, let me have a look and same this one as well. Yeah, perfect. Okay, I'm not gonna fill these two. Let's fill these two as well, and we can talk when it comes to use them. Just copy from here and controller parameter with vModel. Okay, do not worry, guys. I'm gonna explain step by step everything. I'm just making a preparation for our project. Now we going to let's close everything. I'm going to create our services. Okay, so we create two new controllers, so we're going to need two different services. Let's create controllers. Um, what kind of name can be good? Controller name services, right? Yeah. Name services. And also we need domain service. Actually, we always use singular, so I'm gonna delete this S from here. Okay, let's create our classes and interfaces. Controller name service. Add our controller name service. Let's copy our generic service and we need to add controller name. Yeah, even we don't gonna use we're not gonna use if you're going to use the models, I'm going to keep them empty to add these generic services. Controller name, what is that? Controller create vModel, yeah. The second one was the listing. Okay, let's add the listing first. Controller list vModel. The third one is the update. We're not going to use update and create because it is going to come automatically our controllers. Next one I'm gonna do is let's put comma controller name service. Okay, so it is asking us what is the problem here. We add here generic service. So what is the problem here? Controller name service, controller. Let's have a look what is telling us. Yeah, the problem is we didn't add our generic service, I guess. Yeah, let's add those here. Perfect. All we need to do is we're going to pass the repository and mapper through to our base class, which is generic service. Perfect. It is ready. Let's create our domain service as well. Let's make everything ready. Domain service. Add iDomain service. iGeneric service. Domain list vModel. Domain create vModel. domain update view model. Yep. Let's copy all of them. Let's get back to domain service. Let's add our generic class, no interface class, and let's add our domain service. Perfect. Let's create our constructor. Perfect. It's ready to. Okay. Let's save everything. Before starting our controller, I would like to build application, and I would like to see our roles first of all. Okay, let's see the application quickly. All right, let's get inside. We have a role list here. Perfect. So I'm going to add another button here. We able to see admin, how many added by how many controller, member is added by how many controller, and same as public. Okay, let's log out. Let's start with this role section. Get all roles. Okay. We have manipulation. Okay, let's add one more button here. ASP controller role. So all I need to, I'm just thinking, so we don't need to edit, right? I just want to see, let me think, when I click the roles, controllers, okay, so let's add controllers. Okay, this is going to be a little bit different. We came here a little bit early because we didn't create our controllers. It is going to be directed to controller name controller. So let's delete it just for a second. Let's close it and we will come back here. All right, let's keep let's keep our services open. I'm going to create our controller step by step, and when we need any service, we're going to come back to services and we're going to create our services. Okay, let's create controller name services. Controller name controllers. Perfect. All right. Controller name controller. We going to need, first of all, I controller name service. Let's create our constructor. Oops, it is empty. Yep, perfect. Okay. First of all, let's get all controller list first. Get all controller list. All right. Var controller list equal controller name service. I'm going to use generic method, which is going to be enough for us. So we don't need to use specific one. To list. Perfect. I'm going to return this data to the view. Perfect. Let's save it. Table is empty. I'm not going to add the view yet. I'm going to create another logic, which is going to be refresh list. Then I'm going to create my get all controller list view model, and I will able to use that button and be able to see all controller names in our database. Okay, let's create public public I action result, refresh list. Yep, let's open and close our brackets. Okay, we need a method. Okay, I guess we need to use our services to create this one. Let's go back our services. Public void. Okay, refresh controllers. Yeah. First of all, we need to get our controller names, so we're going to use a reflection. Var controller list on project. We're going to go assembly, get executing assembly. Let's get all the types. Get types. Yep. Then I'm going to choose classes which has come from controller type of controller. Yep. And also I'm just thinking, actually it must be is assignable form. Yeah. Okay, so this is how we select our controller classes from all assembly. Now all we need to do is actually I'm gonna add another logic here. Let's delete this bracket. If this is M for MVC is okay, what if we would like to use API? So our controllers comes from controller base. So basically I'm going to add another logic. All right. I'm gonna add controller base as well to make everything 100% quality result. Okay, to dictionary, I'm gonna add those all dictionary. Okay, X, let's say, name. All right. So we're going to get a result. What's happening here? What is expected? Let me see. Syntax error. It's too many brackets here. Okay. Let's make it much more readable. Get types. This is assignable form to dictionary. Okay. Okay, these are unnecessary. Yeah, perfect. So when we create this logic, we're going to have the string which is controller name and the type of controller type. This is how we're going to use our refresh controller method, but there is a problem. If we do like this, our controller names comes with, for example, admin controller, authenticate controller, category controller, but I don't want controller at the end of my list names. Okay, so I'm going to trim it. Actually, I'm going to use a substring. As promised, I'm trying to use every basic knowledge related to C# and .NET Core. So we are now using string methods, which is substring I'm going to use last index of this logic, basically delete the controller name at the end of our word. Okay, but why I'm using last index of controller? Because I just want my logic to delete controller word from at the end of my word, basically. Because if you go back, we have controller name controller. If I use replace instead of this logic, so the beginning of controller and at the end of controller going to be deleted, just name is we're going to just have names, but I want to see controller name for this controller. Okay, hopefully you understood what I'm trying to tell you. Now let's get our controller names from our database. Controller list on db repository get all to list. Perfect. We are able to reach our repository as well because we are in services. All right, all we need to do, add our logic now. Let's use for each. All right, let's scan our controller names on project. Now, if controller list on database yep, controller name, oops, uh, controller name x dot controller name. What's happening to my keyboard? I couldn't type anything. Okay, this is list dot controller name, right? Okay, any x dot. Why I couldn't catch it? Controller list. Did I do something wrong? This is controller names. Controller list. It's interesting. I did something wrong. Okay, let's delete it. First of all, we need to scan our database. Yep. Let's see, controller. Okay. If controller list in our project, we're going to scan each controller name. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna use, this is dictionary, right? I'm going to use try get value. Yeah. Controller dot name. Um, if we able to get this control name value from our control list on project, I want my logic create a variable which is called type. Perfect. Yeah. So what's happening here again? Yeah. All right, perfect. But I'm gonna use the negative status if we couldn't get anything in our project. I want this basically delete from my database. You might confuse a little bit. Okay, let me explain again. First of all, we're going to check difference between database records and our project records. Okay, so first of all, we're going to get list what we have. Then secondly, we're going to get another list what we have in our SQL. Okay, then we're going to start matching these two, database and project. Okay, so if our project couldn't get any value comes from our database, basically this value should be deleted from database because here is the original and real one. Perfect. Then let's change the logic. Now we're going to check the reverse side. Okay, I'm going to create a new class, controller, new list on DB. All right, repository get all. All right. Now I'm going to get another list because we updated database side. Now we're going to update to controller side. Okay. So I'm going to refresh my list from database, and let's create another for each. Okay, controller list on project. Let's take it. Controller list on is that am I doing the correct one? Yeah. Let's use controller name. All right. This time, if controller new list on database any controller name, is that the controller name? Controller name dot name. Yeah, any equal controller name dot key. Why we are typing key? Because this is key value and our controller name is hidden on key section. Okay, if these two equal, I'm just typing continue. Forget the bracket here. It means the controller name in our project and the controller name in our database, they are matching, so we don't need any extra action. They are already matched. But what if it's not? We're going to add these to database repository, create item, new controller name, controller name, here we go, is going to be controller name dot key. All right, this is how refresh controllers it's going to work. I was thinking to finish this lesson in one video, but it's already been 40 minutes, almost 40 minutes, so I guess I'm going to separate 2 or 3 lessons. Hopefully it's going to be 2 lessons. Let's continue a bit more. At this I would like to finish controller name, service, controller and CSHTML files. Okay, let's save everything. Now I'm going to switch to controller name controller. Okay, let's actually, we forgot to add our signature to our interface. We're not able to reach it. Let's select, add here. Just waiting what's happening here. Why I couldn't edit? Because I'm trying to edit to the namespace. Yeah. All right, perfect. Let's go back here. Controller. Okay, let's call our controller name services. This is going to be void. All we need to do is calling refresh controllers, return redirect to action. Action name is going to be get all controller list. Once we add everything, I want to go back my controller list. Let's add controller name, which is controller name. Controller name is a bit weird. Okay, let's save everything. Now I'm going to create my control list view model. Let's add view. It is going to be empty view model. Let's edit. I'm waiting my application to create my CSHTML file. I'm just gonna copy and paste this section. I hate typing HTML codes, guys. Get all controller list. Okay, we're going to have controller name, domain, and we're going to have, let me see if it's everything. Okay, let's save it, close it and open again. It became crazy again one more time. Let's add our model. Oops, let's edit view imports. Perfect. Let's see if it's everything working in this section. So I'm going to list my controllers, okay, and I'm going to have a button which is going to go domain section and get all this by controller name ID. Perfect. And we're going to send parameters ID controller name. Perfect. Just ignore this section. I'm going to tell you when it came to domain, creating domain controller. Now all I want you to see how we are listing and how we add our create button, which is refresh list button. We have controller name. Controller action is refresh list. Button is warning, which is refresh list. Okay, let's save it. Let's build the application first quickly and see if there is an error or not. Then I'm going to, yeah, let's run the application. Okay, actually we don't need the login. I didn't add any attribute just for now. Let's go to controller name, get controller list, page not found. Okie dokie. Let's have a look a second. Get controller list. Why we couldn't receive the page? Just checking. Controller name, controller. Did I forget something to add? Go to view. Yep, here we go. It's interesting. View in browser. Yeah, I understand why we have error. Now when I type here, I get internal server error, which means we didn't add our services to our extension. Let's go back our extension. Where is our extension? Yep. Let's add quickly. I domain services and domain service. Let's copy controller name. Let's add controller name. Let's add namespace again. Let's run the application one more time. Hopefully it is going to work now. Right click on and weave in browser. Perfect. We receive controller name and domains. Once I click refresh list, we're going to have hopefully all controller names. Page not found. I guess we did something wrong. Let's see this SQL. Let's check everything. By the way, I'm gonna um close exception handler. I would like to see developer mode error messages. Okay, let's double check the data has been added or not. Controller names. Yeah, we couldn't create anything yet. Okay, let's run the app one more time, and this time I'm gonna see what the error is. All right, page not found. Weird. Okay, basically we couldn't find the page. Okay, controller name refresh list, right? Controller name. Let's check our controller name controller refresh list. Great job. Okay, run the application again. Probably you see the errors, but I couldn't see. Weaving browser. Let's click refresh list. Why we couldn't get the controller names? Let's get back our views. Domain get control name. This is going to be just name, I guess. Okay. We couldn't do the mapping because I changed the name, but we copy and paste our V models. Let's go back our models. If I can find it, I will fix it. Controller list V model. Yeah, just edit name. Okay, perfect. Let's save it. Now it is going to be alright. Alright, let's fix this as well. It's already recorded, as you can see. Just we made a mistake on our mapping section. We in browser. Here we go, admin authenticate and the other ones. Okay, now I'm gonna make a test. Okay, now I'm going to add a random controller. Okay, let's run the application. I need to add a button to go there. Within browser. Okay, once I click the refresh button, it must be come here. But we couldn't see. Why we couldn't see this? I'm just thinking because this is not controller. You just add a class. Must be a controller. Alright. This you understand how we taking the controllers. We are marking with the controller as usual, like the other ones, okay? Let's refresh list. As you can see, our controller came here. Okay, now I'm going to delete this controller and I'm gonna add new one. Yep. Now our refresh button delete the previous one, add the current one. Okay, let's go our controller list again quickly. Okay, the other one gone and the new one is here. Perfect, it is working smoothly and the other one is not touched. It's same as it is. Perfect, let's close everything and I'm going to delete this test controller again. Okay, so we finalized, I guess, controller name controller. I think we did services. Okay, anything else? Is there anything should I tell you in this lesson? I guess I'm going to finish because it's already been 50 minutes. 50. It's been a lot. Let's add our buttons as well, then I'm going to finish the lesson. Okay, let's go share it layout. Admin is supposed to see this button. I'm going to copy this button. Controller is controller name. The action is, where is the action name? Get all controller list. Perfect. Not you. Where is my layout? Controller list. All right. Is there anything should I add this section? Actually, I'm gonna add a small button. I'm always trying to add this register button to login page, but every single lesson I forget to add it. Now let's add this. Okay, we have a login here. So all I want to add a register button, right? Let me see where I can add it. Okay. Button class, not button. Let's add ASP controller. Why ASP is not working? It's weird. Okay, let's see the controller name. Authenticate. Yeah, register. Let's close it and open again. It is weird. I guess we need to close the app quickly and open again. Just waiting. Yeah, all we need to do is reset the idiot application. ASP action is register, and let's outline success. Let's make a warning. Register. Save it. Run the app. Just waiting. Why is nothing coming up? Yeah, this is interesting because let's open our solution. Yeah, let's run one more time. Okay, log out. This is our register login. You can put a, yes, put it together. or this is br become too long. I'm gonna add mt3 margin top 3, which is going to be place a gap between these two buttons. Yep, here we go. Okay, we have login and register and it is working. Okay, let's close the application. Anything else should I edit? Let's check the controller list button as well. Let's log in quickly. Controller list, here we go. Okay, perfect. Alright guys, let's save and close everything. Close all tabs, minimize everything. I'm going to finish this lesson here. Probably the other lesson, I'm gonna finish this section and it is going to be our last video for this playlist. And let's see, I guess you're going to love when I finished with this dynamic authentication and authorization section. Alright, if you crash the like button, I will be really appreciated. If you have any question, drop comment the video. And next lesson, I will give you some homework. I'm not gonna finish everything in this project, but we already did an example, lots of example. You know how to do it. See you on next lesson. Bye bye.